Now, in some circles, it's seen as a time waster, but social media is increasingly being used for a variety of purposes, including as an educational tool.
In the US, the National Archives is using social media to store and share the nation's most prized documents. David Ferriero is the archivist of the United States of America, and he joins us now from Brisbane. Many thanks for your time and welcome to Australia. Firstly, of course, you must just have millions, almost billions of documents to archive.
12 billion pages so far.
That is extraordinary. Now, this is an interesting twist. How do you use social media to help you in this task?
The National Archives is responsible for all of the records of government, and that means the 250 federal agencies and the White House. And every one of those agencies and the White House are using social media tools to communicate with the American public. So there are records that are being created through the use of social media. And it's our job as the National Archives to provide guidance to the White House and the agencies about how they should be capturing and saving those so that, like the paper, 100 years from now, people will be able to search and trace the history of the country through now social media records.
So what you're saying is that you've got obviously all these physical archives that are already part and parcel, but all these new forms, the Twitter, the Facebook pages, they have to be archived as well.
Exactly. And we're using social media to share the older documents too. So creating Facebook pages for specific documents like the Declaration of Independence and that kind of activity.
Is it easier because of social media and this, computer access on so many different forms for people to actually view a lot of what you have in the archive? Does that make what you've been doing for so long more interesting to the general public?
It's a very exciting time because it gives us the ability to share these documents with people across the country, around the world actually, and especially to do work with the K-12 community to share those documents for use in the classroom.
How are you storing, for example, Twitters that the White House sends out at the moment?
We have the Library of Congress in Washington actually has signed a contract with Twitter to be the archive for all the Twitters that have been created since the beginning of Twitter. So that's about 10 years worth of tweets that the Library of Congress now has. A portion of those tweets are tweets created by the federal government, and those are mine. Those belong to the National Archives.
You say that with a sense of exhaustion.
Well, it's to give you some perspective, we started collecting electronic mail during the Reagan administration, Ronald Reagan administration. So between the Ronald Reagan and Bush 41, George H.W. Bush, we have 8 million email messages. From the Clinton White House, we have 20 million email messages. And from the George W. Bush White House, we have 210 million email messages. So that gives you some sense of where we're going with electronic information.
210, was he quick on the email? Did he write long emails to George Jr.?
Not one of them is his.
What is the strangest thing that you've got in your archives?
Oh, we do have some strange things. A wonderful strange thing we have is a letter from Annie Oakley to President William McKinley. This was after the U.S. Maine blew up, offering to raise a troop of 50 sharpshooter women who would supply their own rifles and ammunition to fight the Spanish-American War.
Oh, that is gold.